James Harrison and Mark Schlereth are back. Time now for a big story. Let's move to Cam Newton, who took the field last night for the first time since getting shut down with a shoulder injury last season. Cam's shoulder looked good, but he went down with a sprained foot in the first quarter and left the game in a walking boot. Reportedly, the team is optimistic Cam will be ready for week 1, but watching a major star go down raises serious questions about the value of preseason. All right, Marcellus, is Cam's injury more proof preseason needs to be fixed?
Absolutely, and I got a solution to fix it. Eliminate it. Get rid of it. Done. Zero. Look, we were amateurs just years ago. Hello, NFL. As a collegiate player and didn't have a preseason game at all. And we did just fine. And now we're in a situation that's professional where you're supposed to work your hardest and have intensity, but self-preservation. And make sure you use the technology and resources to make sure that you only play one game a week. That matters. So the roll of the dice of having guys go out there and knock off the rust and to get some continuity and chemistry in a game that doesn't matter. I love Sean McVay for being this level, this era's innovator, and the one who's stepping out there saying, my guys are not playing in the preseason, just not that serious. And last year, they started off slow against the Raiders in the first half, and then the second half lit them boys up, and everyone said, oh, he may be on to something. He's definitely on to something. Eliminate it.
No, I totally disagree with you. You need the preseason. It's a necessary evil. If it wasn't for the preseason, I wouldn't be playing. I wouldn't have played the ball that I did play. Because in those last 3 and 4 games is when I made a statement that, you know what, I can help you on special teams. So for guys that are already well established and all that, yeah, it's not a need for that. But here's another thing. This is the first game where Cam has actually went out there and exerted that sort of force. He actually had to push his, he got a soft tissue injury, basically.
Yeah.
So you haven't either, soft tissue injuries are either fatigue or weakness. And fatigue comes from not training or exerting those forces on yourself before you get into this game sort of situation.
Yeah.
So to get rid of the preseason won't help everything because you still have to build your team. The guys that are out here doing a great job in college, how many times are they going to play against the caliber person that they're going to face every week in the NFL?
Well, see, I think that's a myth. One, we know team building and the construction of a team. Of the 53 positions, 45 are already counted for, either by seniority, by contract, by what you mean to the organization, et cetera. There's only like 8 guys on this bubble, and you said you were one of those guys.
No question.
But guess what? I'm an evaluator. I can set a live situation in practice.
Well,
I'm an evaluator.
You see first-round draft picks that come in and they're bust. They evaluated that talent wrong.
I'm not saying this is a complete science, but the risk-reward relationship is what we got to respect. If we know that we're only doing this, we're putting a Cam Newton out there just because of 8 guys on the bubble, is that worth it? Is that the risk-reward?
Cam Newton himself, I wouldn't have put out there. But I'm saying to get rid of the whole preseason, that you can't do it. You can't function.
As a 10th rounder at a little tiny University of Idaho, that's how I made it in the league.
Right.
But I will say this, and there's value in that. But the piece you're missing right here is the financial piece. The reason you're not going to fix this is because owners aren't paying any money. They're not paying the players. And they're still paying they're still getting the same revenue from season ticket holders. They're still getting the same revenue from parking. They're still getting the same revenue from concessions. So they're making a huge sum of money during the preseason because they don't have any expense.
Preach.
Right.
There's no expense. You're not paying your $33 million quarterback. You know what you're paying him? $1,000 a week. Like you're paying the $1,200 a week, just like you're paying the 53rd man or the 90th man on your roster.
There is a solution. There is a solution.
Okay, what is it?
One, I think the first step they're going to get to in the next 2 or 3 years, they'll put the quarterbacks in red jerseys in preseason games. The other solution that I think they're eventually going to get to is the 18-game regular season schedule.
That's
one or
two preseason games. That's the whole plight of all this. Safety, you know what? We just made the game safer. Concussions are down. Everything is down. The players, we added more people on the roster. You know what? We're only still going to do 20 games, guys. It's going to be 20 games, but I'm going to need 18 regular season. Because right now, no one is playing. You're sitting guys out. The fans aren't happy. The ratings are going down, and it's going to hurt the money that we're going to be able to get from the sponsors. Y'all guys want more money? We got to get more money from them. And believe me, guys are going to end up bending and folding to this because our union is not as strong as it needs to be.
Well, I think that's a baby step towards my solution. What you're going to do is put your toe in the water. And the 18-2, I think that is something that the players are going to get on board at the right price. Then they're going to be in that situation, and in those 2 games, we're going to see some catastrophic injuries, and then we're going to say, what are we doing here, guys? Now, I know that's a forecast that's years away, and we have to solve what you just said, which is the greatest point. Owners are making the same, and we're getting $1,000, $1,200 a week.
Right.
When you're making money in the league, you're making $1 million a week, like making it. I mean, 16 million.
What do y'all think of my quarterbacks in a red jersey?
Nah. That's not going to happen.
Complexion of it.
That's not going to happen.
I don't like how
that's tag football. That's touch football. How many people was out here loading the stadium with 60,000 people watching flag football?
I just heard a coach, I think maybe it was Sean Payton or somebody say, let's go to showing televising the practices. The shared practices, that'll be in a red jersey.
Well, here's the thing about the game. Even in those shared practices, because you're playing against somebody else, there's more intensity there.
Right.
Yeah.
But James's point about soft tissue, James's point about that injury, there is no way to get in shape for playing a football game other than playing a football game. So you get in your first game of the season, you have a 12-game drive. You've never simulated that in practice. You take 4 plays and you're out. The backups are in. Then you 4 plays and out. And then that period's done, you move to the next period. So I don't know how you simulate playing a game other than playing a game. You know that same game we're sitting here talking about Cam Newton? You know that same game that Tom Brady threw 12 passes, he played deep into the second quarter?
Right.
He's 42 years old. He's okay. But I mean, I just like, I don't live my life like going, oh, I'm afraid I might get hurt if I play. I go out and play. If I get hurt, I get hurt. If I don't, I don't.
The thing I did in the offseason is I tried to train harder than what I would have to deal with in season because that prepared my body for all the forces, everything that I was going to do to it in the preseason before the preseason even came. Preseason came, I'm out there playing as if it's a regular season game. I'm not thinking in my head, you know what, let me get through 5, 6 plays so I can get out of here. I'm thinking whatever I'm in here, I'm going to give everything I got. Because once you sit there and you start thinking about, or I just want to make it through, that's when something happens.
Well, in terms of performance, you went rags to riches, man. You became a Hall of Famer and you started where they were discounting you. So respect to you. But you are an anomaly. Let's talk about most of the guys. We played in college. Guess what, guys? We went to training camp and then
2 weeks and then you're playing a game.
Why can't we go there again when we're professionals? That just makes no sense to me.
Well, I think one thing, James, and the NFL where it's gotten to is because there's so much less actual hitting in practice. And again, back in my day, I'm 52, but Mark's, the hitting on like the 3rd day, it became normal. And the pain all went away. The first couple days in pads, oh my God. And the 6th day it hit.
You get calloused. You get calloused.
Right.
And that's not what's happening with Cam and some of these other guys.
And you develop a kinesthetic awareness. You develop those skills. You develop those skills. It is.
All right, coming up, the Giants took a lot of heat for drafting Daniel Jones, but is he already proving the critics wrong? We get into that next.